morning, Year 10. Hello, hope you're well. You've made it to Friday. Well done. Okay, what I thought we would do today is to obviously carry on looking a little bit at language analysis. If you haven't yet sent me your language analysis that was due on Wednesday, thank you to everyone who has submitted it. If you want to send it over, just submitting it a couple of days late, that's fine. I'll still have a look at it. But rather than give you something else to do from those same extracts or something else from The Greatest Showman, I thought we'd look at a short extract together. And what I will do for you today is model how to write an analysis from the word go. So I haven't prepared anything, I've just found an extract, but I haven't actually pre-analysed it, as it were. I thought it'd be useful to do it live with you. And I'm not expecting you to submit anything today. Just want you to understand how the process works of picking out quotes and writing about them. So I found this lovely extract from The Peaches by Dylan Thomas. And in this extract we meet a couple of characters. We meet Uncle Jim and we meet Annie. So let's just read it. Then Uncle Jim came in like a devil, with a red face and a wet nose and trembling hairy hands. His walk was thick. He stumbled against the dresser and shook the coronation plates, and a lean cat shot booted out from the settle corner. Uncle looked nearly twice as tall as Annie. He could have carried her about under his coat and brought her out suddenly, a little brown-skinned, toothless, hunchbacked woman with a cracked sing-song voice. Ooh. So straight away we've got quite a detailed description there of this man, Uncle Jim, and it's not a particularly flattering description, is it? He's like a devil, he's got a red face and a wet nose, like a dog or a cat. Hairy hands which are trembling. Why are they trembling? Maybe he's angry or drunk because his walk is thick. A thick walk, because that's a really interesting way to describe the way someone walks, isn't it? So perhaps he can't quite control his movements in a subtle way. Clearly evident when it says he stumbled against the dresser. So a dresser is a large bit of furniture that people put their plates and glasses and things on. And when he stumbles against it, he shakes all the plates, coronation plates, special plates that are displayed on it. So he's quite careless, isn't he? And then this skinny cat shoots out from underneath it, as if it's frightened, perhaps. Why might the cat be frightened of him? Perhaps he's not very kind to animals, perhaps he's violent, and it's a skinny cat, it's lean, so perhaps he doesn't look after it, perhaps it's malnourished, not well fed. And then we get the description of Annie, which is a huge contrast to the description of Uncle Jim. He's massive. She's, what does it say? A little brown-skinned, toothless, hunchbacked woman with a cracked sing-song voice. So she's the opposite of him. So there's this great effective use of contrast to make him seem even bigger and more powerful by making her seem even smaller and kind of vulnerable. She seems like a little old lady and he's so huge you could almost carry her about inside his coat. Okay, that's a bit of exaggeration, isn't it? So there we go. That's a really nice extract to look at. So I'm going to choose a quote from this and then we'll kind of annotate it, and then I'll have a go at writing up a point, evidence, explain style paragraph. So I'm just having a look over it now, and I think I'm going to go for this. Whoops a daisy. Hang on. I'm going to go for this bit here that says he's like a devil with a red face. In fact, I'm gonna just copy that whole bit because there's probably 3 or 4 quotes I can get from that, and I'm going to put it up here so that we can annotate it and make notes on the connotations of these various words. I hope that's not too small for you to see. Okay, so the first word I'm going to pick up on here is devil. Now, think about connotations of devil. What springs to mind when someone says to you devil? I think of that, the kind of stereotypical picture of the devil from hell, who has like horns coming out of his forehead and he's all red and he kind of has has hooves instead of feet, and he carries that big pointed fork. So devil, evil, hell, danger, violence. Ooh. Not human. The devil isn't quite human, is he? I think he's actually a fallen angel, isn't he, devil? But he's not human. Okay, so straight away with this simile, let's put simile up here. Simile, devil, hell, evil, danger, violence, not human. That would be the first thing I would write about. So is this a positive character? No. Negative character. Along with all of these ideas, that creates the idea that he's powerful. Okay, he's probably going to cause some problems for the people he comes into contact with. Right, I'm going to pick up on this red face. So red is an adjective. Okay, so I'm going to go red face. Now, connotations of red. Why do people go red in the face? Well, the first connotation of red actually is danger, isn't it? When you see red in nature, it's a danger sign. Red traffic light, danger, stop. If you drive through a red traffic light, you might get hit by another car and die. So red means danger. People also go red in the face when they're angry, when they are hot, when they're drunk. What about when they're embarrassed? They go red when they're embarrassed, aren't they? But let's have a look at the context of this. He's come in like a devil. I don't think he's the type to be embarrassed. I think he's probably hot and angry and dangerous and possibly drunk, knowing what we read later on about him stumbling into the dresser. I think he's probably not in full control of his emotions. So the expectation here, expectation is one of fear, violence. This man is not to be messed with. Right, another adjective here. The wet nose. A wet nose, like a dog. Okay, so again, he is not quite human. Or perhaps he, don't need the word again, perhaps he's ill. But if he's not quite human, then he's gonna be relying on instinct, isn't he, rather than any sort of rational thinking. And if someone's just relying on their base instinct, they're not going to be circumspect and thinking things through in a very sensible way. The last adjective, we're going to go for trembling. Hairy hands. Trembling obviously is a verb, but it's used here like an adjective, isn't it, to describe his hands. So he's trembling. Why is he trembling? People tremble when they're afraid. Do people also tremble when they're angry? I have on occasion been so angry that I've trembled. I'm sure you have too. But his hands are also hairy, like a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde kind of scenario. So he sounds quite monstrous, angry, or perhaps aggressive. I don't like him. I'm glad I don't live with him in lockdown. He sounds terrifying. Okay, so that's where we've got to. And now we need to do our PEE paragraph, our point, evidence, explain paragraph. So I'm just going to very quickly just whiz through one that we can do. Oh, I've put a space in there. See, make mistakes, fine. Mistakes are easily corrected. Right, so should we do the simile, the devil? Okay, so what point could we make? Jim is presented as powerful in an evil way. The simile, like a devil, has connotations of So I'm just picking out these words here. So if I put those in bold, the simile, we've said powerful, we've said evil, The simile, like a devil, has connotations of hell and of something not quite human. The image of a devil. Now, where was he going? Was he going into a house? He came in. He came in somewhere. He's in the house, isn't he? Yes, because there's a dresser. Of a devil coming into a house is quite terrifying, and builds up. I'm not sure I like builds up. We've got that. Do you know we could put that in quote marks, couldn't we? The idea of a devil coming into a house is quite terrifying and creates the idea that this character is dangerous, and does it foreshadow? Perhaps foreshadows. Now, using words like perhaps is quite good because it shows that you're not sure and that you're thinking quite cleverly and deeply about this. Perhaps it shows this, perhaps it doesn't. Inferring analysis is all kind of quite hesitant. The idea that the devil coming into the house is quite terrifying creates the idea that it's dangerous and perhaps foreshadows violent or aggressive behaviour. Okay, so we've talked about violence here, and we've talked about aggression, danger, violence. Not human we haven't, have we? But fear. Okay. This idea is further developed by the description of his hands as, what are they? They are trembling and hairy. Perhaps they are trembling because he is full of rage. I think is better than angry. But the added image of them being hairy creates a monstrous image, one which is in keeping with the idea of him being devilish. There we go. So we've got trembling. Okay, every time you use a word that's in the quote, if you put it in quotes, then that really helps. So we've got there monstrous. Ooh, monstrous. We had aggression, trembling, hairy, trembling. I love this. Like a devil. Okay. Let's say these adjectives are in keeping. Right, how does that look? Should we just read through that? Okay, so the quote we've chosen is like a devil with a red face and wet nose and trembling hairy hands. Jim is presented as powerful in an evil way. The simile, like a devil, has connotations of hell and of something not quite human. I'm just going to go crazy with my... I don't need to keep putting things in bold, but there we go. I like to be consistent. Has connotations of hell and of something not quite human. The idea of a devil coming into a house is quite terrifying and creates the idea that this character is dangerous and perhaps foreshadows violent or aggressive behaviour. This idea is further developed by the description of his hands as trembling and hairy. Perhaps they're trembling because he's full of rage, but the added image of them being hairy creates a monstrous image. Two images there, two uses of the word image. I'd probably change that to have one as being like a picture or impression. Creates the impression, creates a monstrous impression. These adjectives are in keeping with the idea of him being devilish. Okay, so what I always say to my classes is write a lot about a little. So that first paragraph is all about the word devil. Okay, so you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 lines all about just one word, devil. Okay, and then this is just on another 2 words, trembling and hairy. We've got another 4 lines. So really all of that is just on 3 words, isn't it? Devil, trembling, hairy. But do you see how we need to build up to that end point? So we talk about the connotations to begin with. This is a very, very useful exercise to do at the beginning. You pick out the words, you remind yourself what the technique is, and then you do your connotations. What does that mean? So hell, evil, danger, violence, not human. That means it's powerful in a dangerous way. People go red in the face when they're as a sign of danger, but they could be angry, they could be hot, they could be drunk. Okay, so that's, if an angry, hot, drunk man comes in, expectations of fear. Okay, so this is all about writer intention and reader response. When your teachers say writer intention, reader response, that's what this bit here is. Okay, I really hope that helps Year 10. Please do email me, keep in contact, ask me. A few of you emailed me last week saying, what does the, from The Greatest Showman, what does the simile symmetrical as an Apollo mean? So well done those of you who were looking up the Greek god Apollo. Please do keep working hard. You're doing so well. 1 more week till half term. You get a whole week off. I do hope you're keeping well. And I will speak to you again soon. Bye.